Hey everyone, welcome back to Dungeon Brew. Today we're going to be talking about open-ended quests, which are basically sandbox quests. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Dungeon Brew.
Open-ended quests are the idea of quests being designed to evolve based on player actions so that you can be flexible and develop your story naturally. These quests are not your typical straightforward missions. They are designed to unfold in response to the actions and decisions that players make. This means that as a GM, I start with a hook to gauge player interests along with the first few steps of the quest, but where it goes from there is up to the party. It's like setting out bait and seeing if players will bite, and if they do, will they chew? Let's take an example. Suppose I set a hook where the party learns of a masquerade. Now, they might just ignore it, but if they do bite, I want to set up a few follow-up hooks as well. Rumor of a heist, rumor of a protection assignment, rumor of a noble attending they want to speak with who has been hard to corner. Sometimes the party will take the initial hook and ask questions of an NPC that will allow you to feed them more hooks. Sometimes the party will talk amongst themselves and you can use the table chat to work in additional hooks later. The point is, at this point, you have left the quest open to be addressed by the party however they choose. Instead of scripting out a specific quest that the party is intended to follow, such as the heist, you create a scenario and allow the party to explore how they want to interact with it. You know details about the masquerade, such as the date, the location, a list of some of the attendees, and some ways the party might interact with it, also called entry points. But nothing is set in stone. When the party begins asking questions and making decisions, you start filling in the details of the scenario. Creating these types of quests requires flexibility and confidence on the part of the GM. I need to have a solid grasp of the game world and its inhabitants so I can adapt to the decisions of the party on the fly. It's more about providing a playground of possibilities rather than a narrow path to follow. The beauty of open-ended quests lies in the agency that it offers the players. When players realize that the party's actions can change the game world in significant ways, the engagement deepens. Players aren't just following a story, they're shaping it. This approach also mirrors life more realistically. Rarely are all outcomes known from the start, and the decisions you make have lasting effects on your reality. However, this style of quest design does present challenges, particularly in ensuring that the story remains coherent and compelling regardless of the choices the party makes. It requires the GM to anticipate potential choices and have contingency plans that keep the game exciting and engaging. During gameplay, it's crucial for me to pay close attention to the party's strategies and interests. A casual decision a player makes could open up new story opportunities that enrich the overall experience. For instance, if the party shows more interest in a minor character, I might develop that character's backstory and motives, weaving them deeper into the narrative, possibly even creating future hooks and scenarios based on that NPC. In building these quests, I use various tools, intriguing NPCs, hidden lore, and multiple potential conflict points. These elements are sprinkled throughout the setting, so whichever path the party takes, there's something interesting waiting for the players. It's like setting up a maze in which each twist and turn leads closer to a big prize, yet how the party gets there and what the big prize means can vary based on the decisions of the party. Right, so how do you go about setting this up? Well, there are a few key things to keep in mind before you jump in. First, you need to have a rich setting. You need to know your world, including its lore, locations, NPCs, and conflicts that you can quickly adapt to unexpected decisions by your players. Sometimes GMs will just have a list of random names for NPCs or locations, but you want a little bit more here. If you have a hook, you need a few notes that allow you to connect NPCs and locations to the hook. Don't skimp on prep, or at the very least, write down the things you need to make up on the spot. Second, introduce hooks before the session you are intending to play out the quest. Don't throw in your masquerade at the beginning of the session you want your players to attend. Provide the hook at least 2 or 3 sessions earlier so that your players can finish their current quest and begin learning about their new hook. This gives you a chance to build out in front of the players based on their interests and decisions. Third, when creating your hook, create multiple entry points so that your players don't feel railroaded. We will talk more about that in the closed quest video, which will be the next one in the series. Fourth, reward curiosity. Curiosity is what you want from your players, and the more curious they are, the more fodder you have to build with. Moreover, curiosity can create feedback loops where their interests and choices can create more hooks for more quests. Fifth, allow decisions of the party to influence the outcome. Your maze is boring if all roads lead to the same exit, and eventually your players are going to figure that out. Open-ended quests are about player agency, meaningful choices, and appropriate rewards. That is not to say that you can't get away with the recycling of unused content or allow some left turns to stay right, but these should be rare. Open-ended questing is a great way to help your players to engage in the world in a way that makes their decisions impactful. If you are successful, your players end up creating their own quest lines, naturally making allies and enemies as your story progresses, defining their own rewards, and eventually creating a memorable campaign. Thanks for tuning in to Dungeon Brew. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe for more tips and tricks to enhance your homebrew adventures. We've recently started a Patreon, and subscriptions are currently free, and all of the information we're putting on the Patreon is going to be available for anybody who signs up. Leave a comment below on how you handle your questing, and until then, happy gaming.
Dungeon Brew.